It's all about joy. So if you follow that spark, that joy, sometimes we think we lost it, but there will have sometimes just a tiny spark. That spark, follow it. You know, you don't dismiss it. This is you, your spark, and yes, now I will go back to moms, to new moms. We got that spark so strong for our kids, but there's that moment where we come back to ourselves and you're like, who am I? I don't know. Follow that spark. It will bring you the joy you need, and that this is the joy you need to follow. To me, it was my compass. Joy has been my compass.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hopenning. This is the place where hope is happening if you open your heart and your mind. And that is the perfect way to introduce my very special guest, Josie Sakura. So, welcome, Josie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So I'll read a little bit about Josie. Josie Ann Sakura always believed life was full of twists and turns and spent over 13 years teaching aerial silk acrobatics around the world. But one of the biggest twists and turns for her came when her aerial performing career came to an end. Finding herself in Las Vegas, newly married and expecting her first child, feeling like something was missing. She went from traveling the world to becoming a world-class artist who launched her company, Hearts Your Life. This wasn't just a business for her, it was a way to bring her art and her heart to the world and to help others tap into their own creativity.
Beautiful. Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome, Josie. Right. So I found out about you on Tiny Buddha. So for those of you that don't know about Tiny Buddha, maybe Josie, just give a little brief little, tell us what Tiny Buddha is and how powerful it is.
Yes, Tiny Buddha is an online resource and it will provide resources for the people in terms of mindfulness, joy. There's ton of topic, but it's all through the optic of helping others.
Yeah.
And so they are online resource and they have a big bank of articles to help us go through things that we could go in life and sometimes we don't know where to look for. Tiny Buddha can be a good resource.
Yeah, and I found it as well. There's lots of very inspiring people on there, and it's free. It's a free login, just and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. But Josie, you come to us from Colorado Springs. Now, I'm in northern Alberta, Canada, and
Yeah.
we just went through a cold spell of minus 42 for a few days there. So in Colorado Springs, USA, what's it like for you today?
Today it's beautiful. We're gonna have it 10 degrees Celsius. So it's really nice. Yesterday we had 14. Yeah, in terms of temperature, just a little anecdote from when I first got here. People who were from here or Americans would tell me, "Oh, Josie, you see, winter is really difficult." And then I met two Canadian in a parking lot, and they told, "Oh, Josie, you'll see, it's so easy winter here." And I
Oh,
am Canadian too, originally, so I thought it
yes.
was very funny the perspective. But we have some very cold day. We did get some minus 20, but not many.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's perfect. Tell us about your journey. How did you go? Like, if you're Canadian, there's probably certain parts of Canada that you're probably from. Like, as I hear your beautiful accent, tell us about where you're from in Canada and how you ended up being an artist, because there's
Yeah.
lots of little detours along the way that really molded who you are. And Josie, I'm getting goosebumps. Whenever I get the goosebumps, I know that it's like it's deep and spiritual stuff that we're talking about.
Yes. So when I will go with my story on Tiny Buddha. I feel like it links everything very well. It was the Olympic Games 1992, and my dad would always watch Olympics game. He loves to watch sports on TV. And at some point he calls me up and he's like, Josie, come see this. And I come up, I look at the TV, and instantly I got mesmerized. It was a synchronized swimmer. Now we say artistic swimmer. So I had to start it. I had to try it. And I felt it was the first time in my life I felt it's hard to put words on, but it was that joy that you're supposed to feel from inside. It was all me. Like every cell of my body when I was in the pool was in perfect joy and harmony.
Mm.
And I grew up and I had this goal to go to the Olympic Games. I get older, and for some reason, I had to make a choice. I turned 18 and I had to choose, do I have a normal career or do I keep swimming without knowing where it's going to bring me? And I decided to quit without ever knowing if I would make it to the Olympic Games or not. So that was a big, big, big regret. And at that moment in my life, I promised myself never again.
Mm.
I will always try. And that choice was based a lot of on money because training at that level cost a lot of money, something that we didn't really have. So this being said, I choose to become a registered nurse. 9 years later, I kept training, but not really, just for fun. And I picked up on aerial in the circus. And that brought me to make audition for Cirque du Soleil, which I was in the artist bank and gave me so much confidence. I never had a contract with them, but it gave me the confidence I needed. And right after that, I got my first contract in San Antonio, which I packed my apartment and moved to San Antonio. It was supposed to be 9 months, and now we're 13 years later. Um, and in between, I've moved a lot. I met my husband. And yeah, so that moment where when they told me, Josie, do you want to go in San Antonio? And there was no doubt in my mind. I that I would go. I was not gonna leave a dream on the table for my retirement plan, if I
Mhm.
can say it like this, because being a nurse is very stable. You are
Mhm.
recognized by the society. And when I told people around me, I am leaving, everyone was making comment. What about your retirement plan? What about your condo? You just purchased. That's a big purchase. What are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with that? And I was like, everything's going in storage. I'm going to live my best life for the next 9 months. And I really had to listen to myself because society wants us to be a certain way. And I was definitely going past that line of what is acceptable.
Mm.
So from that
Beautiful.
experience, I feel like I really learned that there's nothing too big in our heart to be done. If it's in our heart, it should be part of you. It should be part of your life. And that is so important. And we forget it so often. Sometimes details, little things. And yes, I'm
Wow.
from Quebec.
So
I
yeah,
get it.
Quebec, right? So
Yeah.
your journey from your aerial career and
Mhm.
teaching in San Antonio and around the world, then it shifted. Like I read in your bio, you felt like something was missing. You were doing what you loved for 13 years, and now you're a mother, right? You're or expecting to
Yeah.
be a mom. and you felt like something was missing. I can understand that, but can you tell us a little bit
Yes.
about what was going on for you?
Yes. So I quit being a registered nurse, becoming an aerialist. And a few years in, I met my husband and I got a contract on a cruise ship. I come back and everything goes so fast. We get married, I get pregnant, everything, just one thing after the other. So I found myself without any more work visa. So I couldn't work. I didn't want to work pregnant as an aerialist, but I mean, there's other things you can do. But I found myself, I had to be home. I had to just grow a baby. And I'm not, growing a baby is extremely important and it's the most precious thing in the world. But I really felt something was missing. I needed to do something more. And one evening, my husband came back with canvas, with brushes, and he says, "Here, try this. Just try something, do something during the day." And it just started like this. Like the first time I sat, I wanted to do a tree, and it ended up in the most abstract blue painting. It was not a tree at all. It's not this one. It's very abstract and it's beautiful, but it's not a tree. And I I found myself in a non-judgment zone. I had expectation of creating something very specific on the first attempt. It didn't work, but I just remember like every paintbrush, every paint stroke I would make, I would just be so calm inside. And it's like there's no more I'm gonna worry about my baby, or I'm gonna worry that I'm not drinking the right tea because
Right.
if I drink tea, it can affect this. Or my mind was calm, my heart was calm. And it's when I was like, wow, this is a wonderful place to be. And I didn't know at that time that I wanted to share it. It was too early in my journey. But every time I would paint, I it just bring me back to that space, and that space is so precious. Like I it brought me back to that time where I was swimming. It's still a little different, but it's similar, or when I was performing, but it was very, very inner calm. Like right
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm doing that, but
Mhm.
it was an inner calm.
Yeah, and some people call that flow, right? Some of
Mhm.
the people who have written books and stuff about flow call that inner calm, that inner peace that's beyond all understanding, really,
Yeah.
because at that point you hadn't spent you were 9 years as a nurse and 13 years teaching the silks, acrobatics. So technically, you were an artist in those fields. Sure, you would have probably gotten into the flow, definitely being with the silks and with the swimming and as a nurse and that passion that you were doing at the time. And you were able to move that passion into art in such a way that I think, from my perspective, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're in flow, it just
Yes.
makes your heart sing.
Yes, exactly. We, at first I was like, okay, everyone's doing yoga, I'm gonna do yoga. And it did help. There was some things that really helped me, but it was not what I needed profoundly. Like I needed, yes, but not, and then meditate, yes, but it's not what, but like put me in a garden, I will be in that same space. In a
Mhm.
garden painting, there's something very special about that. So I think everyone has for some people it will be yoga. They will be on their yoga mat and it's gonna be that space. And for other people, it's gonna be when they cook, when they're cooking for their family. And yes, I think everyone has his way to find and go to that space. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I believe that too. So you started a company in Mississippi. So tell us a little bit about that company and why you created it and how that moved into creating into the business that you have now.
So in Mississippi, I really start taking classes just to improve my technique, to learn more about it. And when we moved to Texas, I made some friends who were painting just for fun. So that's when we started meeting and we called it coffee and painting. And from there, I started building a little program. And it was really based on like, let's be together, just have a good time and paint. And let's be social a little bit, but it's I've part of the military community, so
Right.
I found it very difficult because I haven't been raised in that environment and I'm very peace and love and so but when you are a military spouse, you are very isolated
Right.
sometimes. We move every year, every other year, and making deep friendship is difficult. So this helped me, and maybe it's very selfish to say that I've created things that help me, but I do believe by when we help ourselves, we also help people around us. I
Right.
hope so.
I think what you're saying is right because for whatever reason, I call that spiritual power that directs my life. I call that God. I call God, right? I think everything is for a purpose. Every movement, every tree, every flower, every human, every interaction that we have in our lives has a purpose. And if we are able to key into that and recognize, I wonder what this is about. I think we're on the right track to finding our own flow in whatever way we're being moved. Um, so yeah, the coffee time with other military wives, I can see that too, why it would be so isolating. Because, right, your spouse is away for part of the year and you're at home alone.
Yes. Yes, it was when it opened my eyes. Wow, I can do something that we can get together. It doesn't cost too much. We all have our supplies. We met at one house, someone makes coffee and we paint. And it's just a pleasant moment. And
Yeah,
it's how it's like, yeah, I want to create those space for a woman, for busy people who don't take time for themselves.
right.
Like just 1 hour, just a short time, but for yourself.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Josie, you created Hearts Your Life. So,
Mhm.
what is Hearts Your Life about?
At first, it was really for me to be able um, to create that space. I didn't really know how to bring it as a business, so it stayed more friendly for multiple years. But then this part of Hearts Your Life was when I was selling in galleries or
Right.
selling my art in different places. So it was just also I was registered business. I love the idea that heart your
Mhm.
life in the word heart there's art. I don't know. It was hard to choose a name. Maybe I should just have choose my name, but it was just I'm a big fan of love and hearts, so maybe it's a little cheesy, but I love it. Um, yeah, so it at first it was more on I wanted a business name and just create from there. So at first it was the art galleries and my painting and going to art market and art fair. And now I really want to bring it back less about the product, but more
Mhm.
about the service. And that's where I am now. So I
Mhm.
really, really hope that Hearts Your Life can be more of service. And I want to help people discover their place.
Mhm. And it's very recently 2025. So we're recording this at almost mid-February in 2025. And one of my resolutions, like I always, this year is going to be, I'm going to put more time into art. I am going to totally, and I haven't because other things get in the way. And that, that part of me that looks at art thinks of it as an add-on to everything else you have to get done
Yes.
during the day. And just connecting with you has been so beautiful because I when I went to your website and I saw the beautiful stuff that you produce, and then when we contacted each other, you told me about an art course that you're teaching. I want my opening viewers to see the art that you have because the stuff on her website, it's like, wow, if she can teach me how to do that, I'm in. I am so in.
Oh,
So
yes.
do you have something that you can show us? I can see the beautiful art behind you, but I'm
Yeah.
thinking, you know, like, okay, that's that beautiful stuff behind you. I probably couldn't do myself.
Well, one of the class that is very successful because the it seems difficult, but if you really follow step by step, people succeed in the first try. So one thing is my animal silhouette
Oh,
course.
uh,
This one is, of course, the octopus, but um, it's it's in also I'm trying to make it online. It's still in the process of being edited, but it's coming up. And this is a very technical. There's no approach to being in your center. It's very technical and step by step. But I have the art and wellness. It's like I like to call it retreat. I'm not sure it's the right word, but like a mini journey which we pass like the first 30 minutes just on a different technique or a different thing we can do in our daily life that won't take a hat on, but is more about creating habit to
mhm.
be calm because painting won't work for everyone. But the focus is, of course, painting. So the first part of that class is, and it's live, we are together. So it's not a recording. We pass time together just finding ways in our daily to to find that peace when we argue with our children. How do we find that, okay, I really need to calm down? Or and then the next hour we learn a technique on the Canva or on the paper or little mandalas like this,
Cool.
which are part.
Yeah.
I found that mandala when big event happen in the world and I don't sleep good, I will normally wake up around 4:30 in the morning, and I'm called to come and just dot, and it feels so good. And then I feel ready to start my day. Mandala has been extremely helpful in calming myself, especially with all the events that are happening in the world. When things really get me and I don't know how to do because I cannot change anything. The only thing I can change is myself and my perspective on the event.
Mhm.
So Mandela has been extremely powerful for me. Yeah, so that's one other class, the my art and wellness. Um, and there's other things. I try to give as much as I can. So I do have a YouTube channel which we paint and we learn technique. And I have like a starter guide. You can download it and then you go on the YouTube and you have the QR code that brings you to the YouTube video. So you can read and watch and do it at the same time.
So, Josie,
Yeah.
like when I did download, I downloaded and it was free and it was beautifully created and it was step by step by step to create uh the art where you use alcohol ink,
Yes.
right?
Alcohol. Like,
I mean, that's incredible. Like that in itself. I mean, to think that I could do that
Oh, yeah.
is like, wow. I mean, like it's like everybody's Christmas present next year. Just
Yes.
so so if I take your class, you will teach me like face to face online. It's not a recorded thing. How to create art like that. That's not going to be, oh God, as soon as I get off this course, I'm gonna, it's going, right? 2 points,
I I
right?
can't promise. The project we make in the art and wellness that the life class are, I don't know if you can see. Um, like there's one that is like a word, and then we're gonna paint leaf around it.
Cool.
This one is grow your seeds, so it's like a guided meditation, and it's actually very powerful, and it's perfect for like that beginning of the year because we're letting go something and we're welcoming what we want to welcome in our heart. And it's called Grow Your Seeds. So we're painting a garden. A lot of people, when they don't like their first week painting, they will repaint it on white and then they will do their garden on the same canva. So I cannot promise it will be beautiful because if it's the first time you do a mandala, maybe your dot's not gonna be all the same. And and we always compare to the best, the what we see. So I cannot promise, but I can promise I will give you everything I can to teach you.
Thank you. So as you probably know, I was an elementary school teacher for
Yes.
a long, long time, almost 35 years. And I understand that person, that child who struggles with art and how important it is to do the step by step by step,
Mhm.
because it's like anything, it's like synchronized swimming. You didn't get into the pool knowing how to synchronize swim. You didn't
No.
get on that acrobatic up above the air knowing how to do acrobatics. So everything needs to be taught step by step by step. But if you can break it down, you can teach anybody anything. And it doesn't matter your skill level. And that's the beautiful thing about your projects. It's
Mhm.
it's going to be done in 1 hour. Like probably
Yes.
in 1 hour, you will have a product that you can be
Yes.
proud of. And and as a teacher, I know we can do that.
That's
I know it's
important.
possible
Yes.
because that's what teachers do.
Yes.
And like from your downloaded little, it was free, it was easy.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that you knew what you were doing. So
Well, thank
kudos
you.
to you, Josie.
If I can give one tip to anyone who loves to do art, just the thickness of your Canva. This
Yeah.
Canva is 1.5 inches. When you go in a house and the Canva is on frame on the wall, but it's those tiny, tiny
Uh-huh.
Canva, like those less than an inch thick, they don't look professional. Just if you choose a Canva that is bigger, for the same painting, you'll have a completely different effect. Frame versus no frame, like sometimes it's just the
Yeah,
finishing touch that will make, or the quality of your Canva that will make the big difference. I
right.
mean, some painting, it doesn't matter. You won't like it anyway.
Yeah. But I
You
hear
will
you.
always like it.
Yeah, I hear you about the depth, the depth of
Yes,
the frame,
yes,
right? And
yes,
actually that there is a frame around it.
yes.
And that's what I used to do as well with the students. I would teach them that as well, how to make it look like something that you're going to want to keep. It's just little tips and tricks, really.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this your art and wellness retreat, how many weeks long is it?
It is 4 weeks long. So every week we go through that period of get together, and then we go in that creating space. And it's only 4 weeks.
Right.
Um, I'm confident that this is something beautiful, but if we exceed the 1.5 hours every week, well, I made it 2 hours for next time so people know what to expect. It's more in that
It's more
I'm
flexible. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're on Colorado time and
Yes.
I'm in Alberta time. Uh, what if someone who's listening to this is not on our time zone and I can't show up live, or I've got a previous appointment or whatever, and I can't show up live? How will I get uh, the instruction for that week?
You will get a recording. So the class will be live, and then you will receive the recording in that same day. So you can do it when you're ready.
Awesome.
And I'm available. There's a private Facebook group. So if you want to go text and say, hey, I did not understand that. Because sometimes on camera is a little different than even though we're together, once it's recorded, sometimes it can be difficult. Oh, I didn't understand that word, or so I am there. I'm there for people that they show up live or that they watch the recording after. I will be there after,
Okay,
and I will be there to answer question. And
good. And the materials list, do you send us a materials list of what to buy
yes,
to be ready for each class?
yes. So there was a challenge with this class because I was myself when so for people who don't paint or don't do anything and they don't want to buy Canva and they don't want to buy things that it can go quickly, very expensive. So my challenge was, how do I create a list that is extremely efficient for all four class? So we don't get the most expensive paint. The one like from Michaels, I know Michaels, they have it in
Mm,
Canada. They have those. In US, there's even like at Dollar Tree, they have
right.
a brand. Those are a lot more liquid. They're not fluid art, but they work perfectly for mandala and they will work perfectly for our acrylic paint. So I was trying to find how can I bring the cost to the lowest price possible. So it's three canvas, three canvas. You will receive the little disc by
Mm,
mail already ready to work on, because if you prepare it at home and we do it during the class will be 2 hours.
right.
So my big thing was I wanted to be cost efficient and time efficient. I want people who have kids, people who are busy, for women that,
Yeah.
they want the community, but they don't necessarily have a 2, 3 hours at the end of the day when they're tired. They want to sit down, take their tea, and then create, you know?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that was my challenge. So yes, you received a list of the supply, which I tried to keep at the simple possible. Like for mandala, you can use um, toothpick. You can use the other tip of your brush, crayons, markers. There's so many things you can use instead of buying the set of tools. And to be honest, at first when I started, that's what I had, and I loved it more than the tools I bought. So I still to this day, there's some size I prefer to use my brush. I will use this tip
Right.
instead of using my actual tool just because it just feels better.
Yeah.
So I really tried. That was a goal of myself to make it as affordable as possible. So you got home a package with all the things because those little circles, they come in package of 120. No, I don't think anyone wants a package of 120 little circle.
No,
So
no.
this is the kind of thing I prepare for people, and I sent a few in the envelope. So you have a few to practice on, and you're not stuck with
Right.
hundreds of
Yeah,
circles.
exactly. So, okay, so your art course comes on sale. Is it on sale already?
I know the doors open on the 24th, but
Okay.
for the community of opening, your friends and anyone who want to join and listen to this podcast episode, I'm looking at my calendar. But we said the 24th, my card opened for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but the week before that, from the podcast opening all the way to the 24th, with the code ARTFRIEND241, people will get a discount. Bring a friend, so it's 2 for 1, and it's really yeah, It's going to be the lowest price you'll find it.
Okay, and what are the dates of your course?
The course start on March 3rd. On March 3rd, it's going to be a day class. And I'm still hesitant on Tuesday or Wednesday, but either the 4th or the 5th will be an evening class, probably the 4th on Tuesday. So for 1 month, the 3rd day class and the 4th evening class.
Awesome. So if I signed up um, anytime between February 16th and February 24th, I can bring a friend and we get half price. We
Yep.
both get half price. And the code is ART.
Friend, FRIEND,
Okay.
241, 2FOR1.
Okay. Art friend, 2 for 1. That's cute. Art friend. And is it capital letters or does it
No,
matter?
no,
Okay.
those, yes.
Okay. Awesome. I'm just writing it down here. That's where my eyes are. Art friend, 2 for 1. I'm so excited, Josie, because every day I say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and I don't. And God, I think God has brought this to me to help me fulfill my joy, right? Because I know there's joy for me in painting. I can get so immersed. Don't ask me to paint a wall because I hate painting walls. I mean, I am like, I really just, the trim and on a wall, that's just not
Yes,
my
that's a
thing.
little different.
Oh, it is. You have to be so exact. But to paint and to do artwork and to do stuff that, like you said, it really does bring joy. It brings a calm, it brings a peace, and it touches that inner creativity that I think so many of us are not acknowledging that we have because screen time or life or family or finance, whatever, the economy,
Yeah.
the news, the whatever tries to steal our joy. Something tries to steal our joy. And though we do love family, unless we give ourselves time to love ourselves and to treat ourselves gently, we can't give our full heart, I think, can't give our full love to somebody else if we're not treating ourselves with love first.
Yeah, yes, that was a hard learn for me. Yes,
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
yeah,
Especially in motherhood, like you give everything. I gave everything to my kids, and my husband was third. I have my two kids, and my husband, and myself. And even for my husband, there was nothing left, you know. There was,
right.
yes. So I really had to refocus myself in the right direction.
Mhm. Thank you. So like, and that's understandable. I think as women, and I know there's men that watch the Hopenning too. So I mean, thank you for everyone who's here. But for women personally, we're torn in so many directions. Um, we have to look like that Instagram person who is like, holy, she's got like rock solid abs and she's got 17 children and she's got this incredible business, and the list is endless of what the media will give you if you just click once,
Yeah.
and you're suddenly immersed in stuff that, oh my God, I am inadequate.
Yes.
So what's your last word of hope for our viewers? This show is all about hope, giving people hope if you open your heart and mind to it. What is your
Yeah.
last words for us?
Um, yes, okay. For me, it's all about joy. So if you follow that spark, that joy, sometimes we think we lost it, but there will have sometimes just a tiny spark. That spark, follow it. You know, you don't dismiss it. This is you, your spark. And yes, now I will go back to moms, to new moms. We got that spark so strong for our kids, but there's that moment where we come back to ourselves and you're like, who am I? I don't know. Follow that spark. It will bring you the joy you need, and that this is the joy you need to follow. To me, it was my compass. Joy has been my compass, and I couldn't be more thankful because I did not always follow it. Like I'm not. But those moments were transformative. Some moment in my life were completely transformative in a good way by following joy.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice and I can see it in you, this joy
Oh,
that it has brought you. So
I
thank you
found
so
it
much.
again, so now I can help others.
Right? And that's what life is all about, I think. You get I think for myself, I get the greatest joy when I can help somebody else find joy, when I can
Yes,
unearth whatever it is that's preventing them from their joy. And it's like you said, all you need is that one little spark to ignite whatever is still there. It's always been there. It's always been there from the time you were that little girl in the pool, right? In the
yes,
It's always been there for me as well. And it's been there for every viewer, every human. We just need to get it reignited and to start it again and find somebody who'll help, right?
yes.
So how can we get a hold of you, Josie?
So I have my website, Hearts Your Life, HEARTS, Your Life, W, not W, YOURLIFE.com. Hearts Your Life. Um, that's my website, or at Hearts Your Life for YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Um, I am not extremely active on social media. I try to post my messages and then back up of it because otherwise it consumes me. So,
Right.
but if you write to me, if you come on my website and you send an email, I do check my emails more often.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
so if I um if I get your course
Hmm.
and I make before the deadline, which is the February 24th, both myself and my friend both have to apply separately
Yeah.
using your code, correct?
Yes. Correct. So I have both address and
Right.
because I'm sending a package to everyone, so it's just easier for everyone to for
Awesome.
me to have the address separately.
Yes. Yes, and
Yes.
we'll still get the discount. So,
Yes.
and I would like to let you guys know that it's very reasonable. Her course is very reasonable, even before the discount code. I think for 4 live sessions, plus the recording that we can watch after, and use again for whatever. Maybe we're going to have our own little coffee club thing and invite people over and listen to Josie's recordings for 4 weeks in a row. I think that's super fun, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So just having the ability to have that recording and to be able to relearn it whenever we need more joy,
Yes.
whenever we need more flow, whenever is just a blessing in itself. So thank you, Josie, for coming on the
My
show.
pleasure. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure too. And for those of you that are new viewers, please subscribe. And for those of you that are old viewers, please subscribe in the new subscription box because Hopenning 2.0 is a new offshot of Hopenning, the original. So thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Josie. And I will see you live in that first class on March, probably the 4th. I'll take the evening class.
Awesome. Ah,
4th or
thank you so
5th.
much.
Thank you, Josie. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.